Did you see that post?
People are talking.
Here's what's trending on the Rickey Smiley Morning Show.
A lot of stuff going on. Just feel real disappointed, upset this morning. Amanda Seals recently went viral for a video she made about Vice President Kamala Harris.
Yeah, Ricky, Amanda has received tons of backlash for her comments regarding Harris's messages being disingenuous and how she needs to take action instead of stating things. Here's a clip from Seals' controversial video.
Put in clips of Kamala Harris stating things. I don't need politicians to state things. I need politicians to do things. When I met with Kamala Harris after she summoned me, I said to her straight up, you talk out two sides of your neck and we don't know what you're talking about. Because I told her straight up that I feel like she is disingenuous in her messaging. And I want to see actions. She said, well, how am I supposed to talk about racism in America without calling Americans racist? I said, well, first of all, there are many racist Americans. But there's also policy, legislation, institution, and systems that are racist that need to be addressed.
Yeah, I could talk about that, and I understand where she's coming from, but Kamala Harris don't control the Congress and the Senate, okay? And she's not the president. Anyway, but this morning, we have attorney and political commentator Bakari on to speak about how damaging comments like these can be to the Harris campaign. Bakari, good morning.
Good morning, Rickey. Hope y'all doing well this morning.
Man, happy to have you now. Amanda has made some pretty bold statements throughout this video, especially about VP Harris not acting on what she says. First of all, is it true that VP Harris has not done anything to address racism in this country?
So, first of all, what I'm not going to do is I'm not going to come on the radio and badmouth Amanda or any black woman.
We're not trying to get you to do that.
I know that's not what
we're talking about. Just agreement, disagreement on what she said.
But I just wanted listeners to understand where I come from. And one of the things I want to say is I just have a different view and a different perspective because, one of the issues, for example, that is one of the largest issues we face is African-American female mortality because, structural racism and implicit bias dictates that black women are 3 to 4 times more likely to die during childbirth than white women. And who's been at the forefront of that? It's been nobody other than Kamala Harris. This year, where you're talking about access to government contracts by disadvantaged groups or black folk or minority groups, who's been at the forefront of that? Kamala Harris. HBCU funding, who's been at the forefront of that? Kamala Harris. And if you want to talk about true systemic racism that dates back decades upon decades upon decades, look at the institutional racism that's been imposed by the United States Department of Agriculture against our black farmers. And who has been at the forefront of that? You just saw last week, they released another $2 billion to black farmers. And so I just fundamentally disagree with the premise that she hasn't done anything for black folk. I know people want to talk about her record when she was district attorney, and then they skew her record and say that she locked up a bunch of black men. And that's just fundamentally not true. There were thousands of people who were. It's not. There were thousands of people who were arrested for low-level marijuana offenses, and less than 24 of them actually went to prison. What she did do, however, and if you do have a problem with her locking up people, then you need to look at yourself in a mirror, because she locked up the overwhelming majority of people that her office went after were people who committed child sex offenses and domestic abuse. And so I think people have to spend some time in fact. And I think people have to spend some time not getting their information off the internet. And if you don't get your information off Twitter and Instagram, I think when you dig into her record, you'll find that much of the information that you thought was true simply is not.
Yeah, Bakari, can I just you don't have to say it, but I just want to say, just as a black woman, I think that Amanda Seals is brilliant. I think that she made a good point about holding politicians accountable and, really addressing racism. My issue is that you don't say that the vice president was talking out the side of her neck. She's 60 years old. She's your elder. And,
Absolutely, Maria.
I just feel
Maria.
like if she's inviting you to have a conversation, speak in a way that can assist you with trying to get the answers and the results that you want. I know you don't feel comfortable saying that, but I just wish the approach would be different.
I never would have said that to the Vice President of the United States. I never would have said that if she was a college president. I never would have said it if she was on the city council. I never would have spoke to her.
It's just a respect for your elders.
Absolutely.
It's just how you're raised.
Absolutely. Thank you.
And, I will say this about the vice president, and I don't know the conversation that Amanda had with the vice president, if it actually happened or when it happened or what. I just don't know any of those details. But what I will tell you is that the vice president has been very, very, and she's always the same way. She's very welcoming, and she always, particularly people who she has, even a modicum of respect for. She's like, tell me what you hear, tell me what you see, because she's always trying to do her job better. And so, it's one thing because a lot of my friends in the Democratic Party like to live in these ivory towers, but she's somebody who's very, very down to earth and very humble, trying to make sure that she listens to folk. And so to your point, if you have a constructive criticism for her, she is someone who will listen to it if it comes from a place of respect.
Yeah, and I just want to see that same energy from all the public figures that's against Kamala Harris. I would like to see some of that same energy for Donald Trump.
Exactly. Well, not only Donald Trump, Ricky, but like if you want to do videos, and I encourage everybody, if you want to do 3, 4, 5 minute videos and have us, respond to it, I want you to read all 900 pages and 30 chapters of Project 2025. I want you to read how they say that the free lunch program is an enemy and they want to take it away, or they don't believe that veterans should have extra benefits, or they want a nationwide abortion ban, or they want to get rid of the Department of Education. I want you to read all of those things and be able to talk about that with the same type of skepticism and put your chest in it too when you're talking about Project 2025, so we can actually have that robust discussion about what another 4 years under Donald Trump will look like.
And can I throw something in there and get your feedback on this real quick?
Sure.
When it comes to black officials constantly being chastised about not addressing racism, when are we going to put the onus for addressing racism on the people who perpetuate the racism? Why do we always, because Barack Obama went through it?
It's the silliest thing.
How is it on us? We're the victims of it.
Let me tell you something, and you and I agree, because I write about this in my books. I tell people this all the time. I say, black folk got a lot of things we got to fix, but racism ain't one of them. Like, that's not our problem. Like, we can't fix something that we didn't construct, right? That's not our problem. Somebody asked me the other day, they said, if Kamala Harris gets elected, will finally we be a country that is, devoid of racism? I said, well, you want this woman to save democracy and end racism. I mean, does she get lunch first? I mean, that's a lot on one woman's shoulders. I just don't think that people understand how ingrained in our systems racism is in this country, and people think it's just somebody calling you the N-word. And I'm like, dude, it's the systems that perpetuate us being in a position of oppression. That's what we're talking about. And you're right. It's not going to be one person who can fix that.
Right. Hey, man, Bakari, thank you so much for coming on. And just real quick, Kamala Harris is supposed to pick a VP nominee today. Who do you think she'll pick? If you just had to guess.
I'm going to keep that one to myself, but I will tell you she's going to pick a white man who's a governor. That narrows to the two that she chooses.
So which one helps her win, Bakari? Answer that. Which one?
Both of them. Like, look, it's going to be.
Talking about Minnesota and Pennsylvania?
Minnesota, Pennsylvania. Both of them help, because what you want to do is do no harm. We have a lot of momentum. Unfortunately, she won't be able to come to Raleigh this week, and she won't be able to come to Savannah this week because of Hurricane Debbie. But she's going to travel around to all these swing states with her VP. I think both of them are more than talented enough to help her win. We got the momentum, and we're up right now. We just have to make sure we get to the convention and keep rocking and rolling.
Last question: is North Carolina in play?
Oh, very much so. North Carolina and Georgia both, but I believe North Carolina is actually more. Because I don't know, Ricky, one day you got to just do an episode and talk about your friend Mark Robinson, who's the lieutenant governor of the great state of North Carolina. he leaves a lot to be desired. I haven't seen one self-hating, anti-Semitic black man do the damage that he's done to black folk like Mark Robinson. Interesting cat, man.
Yeah, we look forward to having you on, and we're not trying to jump on anybody. We just disagree and have some concerns about the video that she made, and we think that damages the Harris, Kamala Harris, and her campaign. And I just want to see some of that same energy with all these celebrities go towards Trump and his campaign. That's all I'm saying. I'm with her. I don't care what you say. I don't care what you think. I don't care. I've been mistreated by black women in power also. But Kamala Harris did not mistreat me in anybody's courtroom. I am with her. So I'm just saying. So we need to get on board. We're going to be talking about it a lot more this week and next week at weeks to come. Bakari, let everybody know how you can be reached.
Bakari_Sellers on X, Bakari Sellers on IG. Keep me and my family in your prayers. Everybody be safe in Hurricane Debbie. Get your milk, your toilet paper, stay in the house.
Yes, sir, y'all. All right, y'all, more Rickey Smiley Morning Show coming up.